Folks, welcome to So Bad It's Good. Today, we are looking at the mystery surrounding the body of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who was found in David's impounded Tesla. Now, David, if you don't know, is a very successful rapper and musical artist. This was registered to the 20-year-old Houston singer David. Now, for me, I was very unfamiliar with David's work when this story first broke. This was the first time I was hearing of him. And then come to find out, he is very, very successful and somebody that used social media to really push through his music and the message of his music. And just a little bit of statistics here. When you go on Spotify, it usually will tell you how many millions of listeners there are for an artist. And he is a very young, very new artist. And at this moment, he has 37.5 million monthly listeners. And just for a little perspective, Billy Joel has 32.5 million listeners per month on Spotify. Also, to take you a little bit into David's career before we get into the mystery of Celeste, his early life and his background, he was born David Anthony Burke. His family moved to Houston, Texas when he was around 13. Growing up, he was listening primarily to gospel music because of his family. And then he later expanded into other genres, especially after hearing songs like Gucci Gang. He discovered artists like Extension and explored kind of indie music via gaming montages. Gaming montages that you can really find here on YouTube. So initially, he was creating these Fortnite montages, gameplay videos on YouTube. And to avoid copyright strikes, because he didn't own the music that he was using, he was encouraged by his mother to start composing his own music. He began recording makeshift songs. He would do this in his sister's closet using tools like, his phone or basic music apps. Now, he started finding his first seeds of success in 2022. In 2022, he had a viral single. He released Romantic Homicide and the song Here With Me, and these both gained traction due to TikTok, right? Romantic Homicide especially became a huge breakthrough because snippets went viral on TikTok, and that kind of spread his recognition. And because of that viral momentum, he signed a record deal with Darkroom and Interscope Records in September of 2022. So before 2022, he was posting to SoundCloud. He had tracks like You and I and Take Me to the Sun, but then Romantic Homicide, that was a huge leap. It charted on Billboard's Hot Alternative Songs at number 3. And once again, this helped him break into this huge, broader exposure. Here With Me also charted on the Billboard Hot 100 after his viral success. So his kind of rise, he had an EP release, Petals to Thorns and The Lost Petals in 2023. And this kind of showed to the industry and his audience that he was doing all sorts of things, indie, R&B, and a lot of melancholic songwriting. In 2024, he released multiple singles, including Feel It, which became his third song to enter the Billboard Hot 100. And this was attracting this kind of wide, varied base of fans because he did blend all of this. Now, his debut album was an album called Withered. It debuted on April 25th of this past year. The album was recorded between the years of 2023 and 2025. And it explored these themes of heartbreak, emotional isolation, identity, and personal growth. And I think you have to really pay attention to his music because it potentially gives us clues into whatever happened to Celeste. So let's go back to Celeste. Like I said, her body was found in his impounded Tesla. It was reportedly sat abandoned in the Hollywood Hills for days, and it was racking up like a 72-hour parking violation before being towed. Once it was towed and in the towing yard, there was a disturbing odor from the car that alerted authorities to something far, far more sinister. Now, 6 days later, LA County Medical Examiner announced that the remains belonged to Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a 14-year-old girl. Celeste was also reported missing on April 5th, 2024. And so remember, this body was discovered on September 8th of 2025. Although David has yet to become an actual police suspect following the discovery of Celeste's bodies, Celeste's body, these are all facts surrounding this. And, I want to say allegedly, I want to say innocent until proven guilty, and also once again point out that he is yet to be an official suspect in this case. But through his music and through some of these actions, and on top of her body being discovered in this impounded Tesla, these things are really adding up to something that is very, very dark. So these are all things that are very suspicious. He moved out of his house after a search warrant was executed at his Hollywood Hills residence on September 18th of 2025. Now, around September 23rd of that same year, David transferred ownership of a Texas home in his name to his mother amid the investigation. So he took out of his name and he put all of the house rights over to his mom. And then in October of 2025, David hired criminal defense attorney Blair Burke. And if that name sounds familiar, it might sound familiar because she has represented a lot of very high-profile clients, including Harvey Weinstein, Mel Gibson, Armie Hammer, Lindsay Lohan, and Johnny Depp. Now remember, David's career was really skyrocketing. It was really on this upwards trajectory. He was going on tour. He was really, really becoming known with a very large audience. And so the fallout just from this alone so far, David had to cancel the Withering tour that he was on. He was already on tour, had to cancel remaining dates. There was a deluxe version of his album Withered. They postponed the release of that deluxe version, which is part of this is so sad because this is so suspicious, but it seems like his music is still growing in popularity. His record label, Interscope, halted all promotional activity for this deluxe album. And then singer Kaliukis requested the removal of their collaborative track, Crashing, from streaming services. She did not want to be involved in this track any longer. So David has not even publicly admitted to knowing Celeste. Yet her middle school teacher stated that after Celeste had met David, she had initially run away from home, but was later returned by the police. So here we have Celeste's teacher, Celeste, a 14-year-old girl. Her teacher said, yes, she was with David. And this is a quote from the teacher. When I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He said in the video, referring to Rivas and David, he came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood and brought her back to our school. She came back to our school and kind of told people this story, he added. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. Another chilling detail was uncovered. The investigators discovered Celeste had a tiny SHHA tattoo, S-H-H-A tattoo on her right index finger. And this is where it gets really weird. This is an identical tattoo to the one David has in the very same spot. Maybe a coincidence, but if you are an investigator on this case, this is a fact that is hard to ignore. So even though David claims to not know Celeste, how did David and Celeste meet? So there is no confirmed evidence for this yet, but there have been resurfaced Discord chats between David and Celeste that have surfaced, fueling speculation about their connection. So there are all these chat screenshots, you guys, and they show these conversations in this Discord server referencing someone named Celeste, and these date back to around the year 2022. One screenshot, in fact, reportedly shows David typing Celeste in here, ? And a user named Celeste responding in all capitals, "Hi, David Bark, KKK." Then, on September 8th of 2025, TMZ reported that a new video has resurfaced showing singer David and Celeste Rivas, where you see David and Celeste together on a live stream, answering questions from fans. And as you study this is what kind of blows your mind, because in this age of social media and TikTok and Snapchat and Discord, there is so much digital evidence. Your digital footprint is so hard to erase. And so this will be very curious when police actually show the world their findings. how do you erase a digital footprint, and especially the same digital footprint that was getting David to the top of the charts and exploding his musical career? There's a quote about this live stream where it says, "You hear Celeste telling David to respond to a comment." And this video was shot in January of 2024. There is an image for this where you see both of them. It looks like they're in a kitchen. So, if that wasn't suspicious enough, there's this. A demo by David titled Celeste was reportedly leaked in December of 2023, just months before Rivas Hernandez was last reported missing in April of 2024. In the song, David allegedly sings, "Oh Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest, and I hear her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed." Now, another David song, titled Romantic Homicide, which I talked about earlier, contains the lyrics, "In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it." Also, David's music video for the song One More Dance depicts individuals putting a body into the trunk of a car, an event that eerily mirrors the discovery of Rivas Hernandez in the Tesla. And now I was looking a little bit more about this because, lyrics, you can go anywhere in lyrics. A lot of people write fictional storytelling, maybe not Taylor Swift, but a lot of people do. And when I was looking at this, is that David is really into the artistry of his music, and he will create alter egos for certain characters and sings through their voices. He created one character, you guys, called Itami, Itami. And David would talk about Itami, referencing him in interviews and in visuals. Now, the origin and meaning of Itami means pain in Japanese. And David describes Itami as his darker alter ego or an agent of chaos. He is said to have developed this character because he was obsessed with manga, in which there's a detective and a murderous alter ego, Itami, who commits crimes that the detective must solve, essentially blurring responsibility and identity. And in the Romantic Homicide video, the video introduces Itami visually. The protagonist is blindfolded, drenched in rain, with imagery of a woman, blood, and conflict, and Itami confronts the ghostly victim. So Itami acts as this projection, you guys, of this internal pain or rage, and the darker self that, quote-unquote, kills the emotional tie in the mind rather than physically, which David has said repeatedly is more figurative than literal. But then when something like this happens, how do you not throw this into the mix of potential evidence? So, as of now, where we stand today, no charges have been filed, and the investigation continues. Remember, this all started September 8th, 2025, even though there is still more evidence that is being collected and uncovered about the relationship between David and Celeste. And I think some of her classmates potentially are speaking now. Like we said, we have the matching tattoo. We have the viral images of him with Celeste. We also have Celeste's mother told the media that her daughter had been dating someone called David, although she has said she has never seen this boy. We have the statement from the teacher. We have the LAPD executing a search warrant at the Hollywood Hills home. And then, of course, the songs and videos. So, the investigation continues, and a singer whose rising career has been brought to a standstill, even though his streaming numbers on Spotify might suggest otherwise. So, whether the truth is hiding in that Tesla, in a Discord chat, or somewhere much, much darker, one thing is certain. The story of Celeste Rivas Hernandez is far from over.